evening and welcome to Showbiz Prime. We are coming to you live from our studios here at Kokom Lemle in Accra. We are live on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 125 and around the world on myjoyonline.com. I am Carlos Kaloni.
And I am Faustina Safo. Tonight, President John Dramani Mahama nominates acting Chief Justice Paul Baffoe-Bonnie as the country's next CJ following the removal of TEWU-TUC due to stated misbehavior. Stay for details of this developing story.
Also, tertiary educational workers union takes a firm stance, escalating the ongoing strike and instructing members to stay home in a bold move that puts them on a collision course with the government and the National Labour Commission over the legitimacy of their strike.
Also tonight, who makes the cut in the NPP flagbearer race as 5 aspirants are grilled to determine if they are fit to lead the party back to power. But will the aspirants' ability to cough 4.6 million cedis determine their fate? We're live at the NPP headquarters for more.
Also, the Electoral Commission officially declares political science lecturer Professor Alidu Sedu as the Member of Parliament elect for Tamale Central, a rare outcome achieved without the conduct of a by-election. And later, we'll also bring you Prime Sports. And remember, we are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism.
It's a good time to take a seat and please be our guest.
So much for joining us here on Showbiz Prime. Let's begin from the court because President John Dramani Mahama has nominated acting Chief Justice Paul Baffoe-Bonnie as the country's next Chief Justice. This nomination follows the removal of former Chief Justice TEWU-TUC earlier this month due to stated misbehavior as recommended by a constitutional committee. The nomination aligns with Article 1141 of the 1992 Constitution, with President Mahama seeking advice from the Council of State. On your screen is a letter from the presidency confirming the nomination of Justice Baffoe-Bonnie for the Chief Justice position. And it reads, President John Dramani Mahama has, in accordance with Article 1141 of the 1992 Constitution, forwarded the name of His Lordship Justice Paul Baffoe-Bonnie to the Council of State for consideration as Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana. He goes on to say Justice Baffoe-Bonnie has, throughout his distinguished judicial career, served with diligence and integrity at the High Court, the Court of Appeal, and currently the Supreme Court. He has earned the esteem of the bench, the bar, and the wider legal fraternity for his intellect, impartiality, and unwavering commitment to justice. His wealth of experience and long service on the bench render him eminently qualified for the high office of Chief Justice. His Lordship has been serving as acting Chief Justice since 22nd April 2025.
Well, let's explore this further and bring in lawyer Martin Pebu. We appreciate your time here on Showbiz Prime. I'd like to start with your initial reaction with the nomination of Baffoe-Bonnie. How do you foresee the judicial service structure and its leadership moving forward?
Well, it's an exciting appointment because among others, Justice Baffoe-Bonnie is the most senior of the judges on the Supreme Court bench. Yes, in terms of, the Supreme Court bench, he's the most senior. Even though Justice Tanko is more senior to him at the bar. But when you talk about the Supreme Court bench, then it's Justice Baffoe-Bonnie. It's exciting also because, President Mahama is appointing a Chief Justice whom an NDC president did not appoint to the Supreme Court, nor even the Court of Appeal. You see, Justice Baffoe-Bonnie was appointed to the Supreme Court, and before then, the Court of Appeal by President Kufuor. And we all know that generally, in selecting Supreme Court justices and Court of Appeal justices, presidents tend to choose persons who share in their ideology, in their philosophy. Yes, presidents don't tend to choose people who are who have different ideologies from the ideologies and philosophies the president subscribes to. Okay. So the Baffoe-Bonnie having been appointed by President Kufuor, one would have thought that President Mahama would not be looking in this direction. But for President Mahama to look in this direction and appoint him when there is another Supreme Court judge whom President Mahama had earlier appointed to the Supreme Court, that's Scott Puaman, Justice Scott Puaman, it tells you that President Mahama has moved our democracy forward. Yes, it's a huge step forward, and we should all be very excited about it.
But there are also concerns about politics already infiltrating our courts, looking at the circumstances that led to the removal of the Chief Justice and concerns that she was politically targeted. How do we ensure that this new Chief Justice is a unifier?
Okay, so, if this new Chief Justice, the acting Chief Justice who has been appointed, wasn't a unifier, by now, information would have filtered through. And in your newsroom, people would have, well-meaning Ghanaians who know him, would have sent you information that he's not a unifier, he's anything but a unifier, etc. So once you haven't heard this generally, even in the rumor mill, then it tells you that he's generally okay. Yes. Our society is growing strong now. Every judge comes from a family. Even though generally judges keep a low profile, but people know them and know their family. So if he wasn't a good candidate, considering that it's been maybe about at least 5.5 to 6 hours now, news would have filtered in that no, don't give it to a Timothy.
Okay. So you think he's the right man for the job, right? But just before I let you go, you are a key member of the legal fraternity. Should he be officially declared the Chief Justice, since we know now it's just a nomination, what key areas should he focus on?
Oh, so number one, he already knows what to do, but of course, we will also reinforce. Restoring trust and confidence in the judiciary is number one. Because the Afrobarometer and the Mo Ibrahim Index both show that citizens are losing faith in the court. So we have to do more, especially in the area of corruption. Since they are not faith, our court enjoy there is some. So because of that, that's where it's starting national park to sign an MOU with Ghana's judiciary on ways of combating corruption, etc. So Justice Baffoe-Bonnie has to continue on that path. Make all the things, take complaints seriously. Yes, when citizens complain, their complaints against judges, etc., must be investigated properly, and the right procedures used, so that it can help to regain some of the confidence. All of it cannot be regained overnight. No, let's not kid ourselves. This takes time, and it will even go beyond the tenure of office of Justice Baffoe-Bonnie. Then number two, for us as practitioners, another serious problem is that we don't have enough officers who deliver the court processes to the various parties and other lawyers. So what I mean is that, let's say, for Sinasapo, you have a case against Kaloni. If you sue him for $10 million, the person, when you take the case to court, the person to go and serve the summons on Kaloni, those officers are not many. They are called bailiffs. So it creates a lot of backlog and inefficiency. So we need more people recruited to serve as bailiffs.
Okay. Thank you so much, Counsel, for your time here on Joy News Prime.
Well, let's bring in the legal counsel to the minority caucus, John Darko. Thank you so much for your time here on Joy News Prime. First of all, as minority, what do you make of this nomination?
Thank you very much. Good evening to your cherished viewers. On our side, we don't have much to say as to who replaces the venerable former Chief Justice. Sad that I have to call her former Chief Justice. We believe that the whole process of removing her was wrong from the beginning, and this new appointment by the president will never change the danger that we have caused our judiciary. The appointment of Justice Baffoe-Bonnie, a very good person, very good judge. This will not erase the distraction caused to the judiciary. I believe that what the president has done to our judiciary by this removal of the former Chief Justice has destroyed our judiciary forever. And I don't know whether it's going to take even 10 years to reverse the destruction that we've caused to our judiciary. So on our side, we don't have much to say. He has the right under the Constitution to appoint somebody to act as the Chief Justice. But look, the destruction has already been caused. The judiciary has already lost its luster and its allure. The judiciary has already lost its gravitas. The judiciary is now under the armpit of the president and the executive. The judiciary is no longer the independent judiciary that the framers of our Constitution wanted it to be. So this appointment, in my view, will not change anything.
And so if Baffoe-Bonnie is now at the helm of affairs, what should he be doing to restore that confidence in the judiciary from where you sit?
I think that it's going to take a lot. As I said, Justice Baffoe-Bonnie, as a person, I know him as a judge, I know him as a person, a very qualified person, any day to serve as a Supreme Court judge. But it is a process leading to his nomination, the removal, the wrong removal of the Chief Justice that brought him, which for me causes a lot of pain. If he's to do anything at all, he needs to prove to the people of Ghana that the judiciary is no longer under the direction of the executive in flagrant violation of Article 125 and 127 of our Constitution. The third provisions of our Constitution clearly state that neither the executive nor Parliament can control the judiciary. But as things stand now, the judiciary is fully under the control of the executive. And that's a very sad situation. If you look at what happened to Abronia and the process leading to even his release from the police custody, clearly it tells you that the judiciary is being controlled by the executive. It's a dangerous precedent that we have set as a country, and it's going to take a lot to bring the judiciary to the level which the framers of our Constitution intended it to be. I believe that, first of all, he needs to ensure that there's fairness, that people from the opposite side of the political aisle, when their cases get to court, will get fair hearing. It is very important that the new Chief Justice shows that he's not there to serve the executive and that he's there to serve the people of Ghana, because he derives his authority from Article 125, which also says that the judiciary derive their power from the people of Ghana. And so if he's to serve as the people's CJ and do right to all manner of persons, irrespective of their political affiliation, then I would say he will be a good CJ. But
Thank you. We may have to leave it here, John Darko. We're grateful for your time.
Well, let's shift our attention now to the Labour front. The Tertiary Education Workers Union of TUC is standing firm, refusing to back down from its strike for better conditions of service. The NLC had declared the strike illegal, saying TEWU-TUC did not give the required notice under Section 159 of the Labour Act. But at an emergency meeting at the University of Ghana, the Workers' Union insisted the strike will continue until their demands are met. Collins Frimpong has more in this report.
The National Labour Commission has called on TEWU-TUC to end its strike, saying the union failed to give the 7-day notice required under Section 159 of the Labour Act. But the union has refused to back down. At the University of Ghana, Union Chairperson Salamatu Mahama said the strike will continue until all demands are met.
TEWU has complied with every procedural requirement under the Labour Act 2003, Act 651. The strike, therefore, is legal, it is justified, and binding. TEWU will only suspend the strike when Fair Wages and Salaries Commission receives the appropriate mandate from the Ministry of Finance and other government employers for us to continue and conclude our negotiations.
She also urged members to stay home as the industrial action intensifies.
Until then, brothers and sisters in the union, you are to sit at home, stay at home. You are to stay at home because we all know that it is the conditions of service that guides our operations. And we cannot continue to operate unexpired conditions of service from 2008 to date.
Responding to the strike, the Executive Secretary of the Labour Commission, Dr. Bernice Wilbeck, said her outfit will consult its leadership on possible next steps against striking union.
So I think that tomorrow we'll be consulting to find out what the commission intends to do about that. But as far as we are concerned, we're waiting for them to give this letter. They have this. I mean, that is the declaration they made. And notwithstanding the commission's letter, they would still be on strike. That's all. That's a decision for the commission to take.
Is it possible that the previous ones that we've seen and also going to court, this may follow suit if nothing like that, they don't call off the strike?
Well, you're asking me to tell you what action the NLC will be taking. But the NLC has not considered that yet. What the NLC has considered is the fact that they have instituted an action, and that action did not even follow due process. And the NLC is calling them to come, notwithstanding that, the NLC still says, come and let's talk. And the NLC is directed, because in fact, you can't be on strike and be negotiating. You understand? That's the law.
Reporting for J News, Collins from Pong.
From strike, let's shift our attention to politics because the New Patriotic Party is threatening to escalate its Iyensro Ehunehuna demonstration nationwide if government does not meet their demands. Today, party members took to the streets of Accra to protest what they describe as the unlawful arrest and detention of party members and former officials by the police, IOCO, and other investigative bodies. There's more in the following report.
It all began at the Brass Balls in Accra, where hundreds of party faithfuls converged, clad in red, chanting songs of resistance and waving placards to signal their discontent. The charged crowd then poured onto the principal streets, heading towards the Jubilee House, where they presented the petition to the presidency, after they first submitted one to the police service. National Youth Organizer Mustafa Salem recounted a string of arrests in recent days, including the alleged detention of a constituency women organizer without court process.
He went in the company of a friend called Yaira, our North Tongue women organizer. Upon arrival, she, the person who went to accompany a friend, whom the police had invited, was now told she was also under arrest, and she was taken into custody as well. Your Excellency, recently, 2 young ladies were arrested all the way in Shayasu in Kumasi, Ashanti region on a Friday and brought to Accra without any information to their parents or anybody. The MP of the area was told, and the MP combed all the police stations in Accra here and didn't find them. they simply would not mention where they had kept these young ladies, 24 years and 26. This is so gross, so wrong. We cannot treat the very young people, the budding, teeming youth of our country in such a disgusting manner.
I am happy today to be actually standing in front of the Flagstaff House to receive your petition at the Flagstaff House, which in recent times would not have been possible. But today, you are able to come here and deliver the petition. And I can assure you that it will be given the necessary attention or the appropriate attention that it requires.
Organizers of the demonstration say they remain unsatisfied despite government's response to their petition, insisting they will not back down until all arrests and detentions of their members are stopped.
If they continue, we will also continue to use democratically mandated tools to continue to protest against these arrests and also against the government. We'll picket, we'll do more demonstrations, and I'm sure the next one we will go to another part of the country and stage another mammoth demonstration like we have done today.
The battle for the party's 2028 presidential ticket is heating up. 5 contenders, including the former vice president and the party's 2024 candidates, today faced the vetting committee in Accra. Each walked out projecting confidence of victory. There's more in the following report.
Brian Echampon described the process as an important test of readiness, adding that the party's 4 million Ghana cedis development fee for aspirants should not be seen as a barrier but as a sign of resourcefulness.
If you are a presidential candidate, you have to be able to demonstrate resourcefulness, to be able to mobilize what is required to fulfill the party's requirement. It has been done. As to whether it is the right amount, fair amount, exorbitant or low, that is up to the party people and the party leadership to decide.
Kennedy Ejapon expressed optimism about his chances, saying he was convinced the delegates and the public recognize his preparedness to lead the country.
I was prepared, so I believe I answered all the questions, and they know I'm ready to be president of this country. Yeah, they know I've been through and through party man for so long, so I didn't face any serious questions, or they didn't antagonize me because they know my potential already.
Former Vice President Mahama nominates said he was pleased with the vetting process and hoped the committee shared the same satisfaction with his performance.
I have just been in front of our vetting committee and we have had very fruitful discussions. They've asked many questions and I have answered those questions. So I'm very satisfied with my vetting and I pray that everything is okay. I hope the committee is just as satisfied as I am.
Kwabena Ejapon highlighted his long-standing service to the party, suggesting his experience positions him to provide the stability and direction the NPP needs.
Well, I mean, every experience is unique, it's different, but at the end of the day, it went well. Of course, they wanted to know my views and my visions for this country. And as I've said, you know what I stand for. I believe that we need a new dawn in this country. We need to restore the values of service, sacrifice and selflessness back into our society and our general body politic. We have to think broadly in a collegial way as Ghanaians, and we as political leaders have to lead by example.
Former Minister of Education Yao Osei Educhum emphasized his commitment to reforms and innovation, framing his bid as one rooted in the country's future and the next generation. The vetting committee will present their findings to the National Council and National Executive Council on September 29, 2025.
Well, still on politics, the Electoral Commission has declared Professor Mahama of the National Democratic Congress as Member of Parliament elect for Tamale Central. His unopposed election follows the death of former MP Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed in a military helicopter crash. Now, returning officer Muniru Musa says the declaration made under Constitutional Instrument 127 comes after other parties withdrew, leaving Professor Seidu as the sole candidate.
Out of LPG. Right after the close of nominations, they submitted letters to the returning officer indicating their interest in withdrawing from that contest. In line with CI 127, the Electoral Commission reopens nomination for another 10 days. That 10 days elapses the day before yesterday on Sunday. As it stands, it means that only Professor Alidu Seidu Mahama stands nominated. In view of this, I, Muniru Musa, returning officer for the Tamale Central constituency, in working with CI 127, hereby declared Professor Alidu Seidu Mahama as the MP-elect for the Tamale Central constituency.
Let's head now to the constituency and speak to my colleague Martina Bugri, who's on the ground for us. Martina, let's start with people's reaction. How did they receive today's declaration?
The people of the Tamale Central, it is what they had waited for all this while. They thought that the real contest was the one that was held on the 6th of September. And so this one was going to be a walk in the park. And all they were expecting is the day should come and he being declared. And then they look forward to what he has for the constituency. They talk of roads, they talk of water, health, among others, are some of the things that they expect the MP now to tackle when he assumes power. And for the youth, for them, it is employment they are looking forward to, for him to be able to create jobs, to help them get training so that they can come out successfully and begin to work and make money. And so for them, this is what they are looking up to as he assumes office very soon.
And has he been speaking?
Yes, unfortunately, we haven't been able to him, but we've spoken to his leaders in the constituency, and they'd say that he had anticipated, or he was hoping that the Electoral Commission would declare him on Friday so that he'll be able to participate in person, because he had some other issues to attend to, which were so pressing. But unfortunately, it was done today. But his lineup, some things he looked forward to undertaking the next 3 years. He talks of education, establishing a fund in memory of the late MP, and he also talks of adding senior high school remedial classes for his constituents. He's looking forward to empowering the youth.
Quite a tall list, Martina, I presume. And we will be coming back to Tamale Central when he's officially declared MP for that area, gone through all the process. And I'm sure you'll be on the ground to give us those updates. You're still watching Joy News Prime. Carlos? Great to have you back. We'll be back after this quick turn. Welcome back from the quick turn.
Well, let's do some other stories on health because head of the Pediatric Oncology Unit at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Ernestina Shandov, has disclosed that annual childhood cancer cases have spiked from about 160 to over 230. Speaking at a fundraising event, she described the surge as deeply alarming, warning that unless resources and infrastructure are expanded, the unit's capacity to provide effective treatment will be severely strained.
It's high time because our numbers have really increased. In the 2014, around 2014, we used to see maybe around 160 children with cancer every year. Now we see over 230 children every year, new cases, excluding the old children, the old children to be in the thousands. So the number of children has outgrown the unit. So we really need a bigger space to be able to make sure that we provide the adequate care for these children. It takes a village, that's the truth. So we are advocating through this walk for sponsorship to complete this building so that these children can have the space and we don't have to wait for them in the emergency room, wait for additional time that could impact the cure rate of these children. So I call on everybody, general public, corporate bodies, the government, the philanthropists, please come to the aid of the pediatric oncology unit in Korle Bu so that we can complete this building and have these children have the optimum treatment that they need.
Ina is also calling for stronger public awareness and early detection campaigns, stressing that timely diagnosis can save lives and prevent cancers from spreading in children.
Warning signs can resemble other diseases, but if you have persistent symptoms, if a child is having fever, despite your treatment, it's still not going, you need to consider childhood cancer. If the child is having aches and pains in the body, you need to have a suspicion of childhood cancer. If they're abnormal swelling, usually it can be painless, okay, and that's one of the early signs of childhood cancer, any swelling in any part of the body. Also, when you come to the childhood cancers of the eye, the retinoblastomas, sometimes all you see is a whitish dot in the black spot of the eye. It looks like a cat eye when you look in the night. So those are the early warning signs. The very late sign is when the eye becomes swollen and the eye is protruding. Sometimes even the way the eye is positioned, like if you have a squint, one eye is looking in one direction, the other one in the other direction, is also a possible sign of eye cancer.
Well, let's bring in Dr. Lawrence Buedu. Grateful for your time. Let's look at the situation that is being reported at the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital. Is the situation different from across regional capitals? You may have to unmute so we hear what you're saying, sir.
All right. Yeah, thank you very much for having me on your program. Yes, as a director responsible for clinical service in Ghana Health Service, oncology or pediatric cancer cases are normally a specialized care. And so we see the numbers more in teaching hospitals like Korle Bu and Konfanoche, as has been said. At the regional level, we also see some of the children who come along with it because we have some centers also at the regional hospital. For example, Greater Accra Regional Hospital has an oncology center with a specialist there. We also have some other centers in our regional hospitals. For example, Kumasi SAF or Kumasi Ashanti Regional Hospital has an oncologist. So what we do better is that when we identify these children who need care because of childhood cancers, we do refer them to treatment centers. And as you have just said it, the cases are not early reported because either to many practitioners we're not expecting childhood cancers as things that we need to critically look for. But nowadays, because of education and because of awareness creation, most of our general practitioners are seeing children with childhood cancers and they refer them to the regional hospitals. And where they don't have take care of them, they also move them. So the numbers are indeed actually coming up because of the awareness that has been created. And we are seeing more cases that we used to report them or refer them to teaching hospitals now.
So resources and infrastructure is a major challenge, as we've been told. What should be done by the Ghana Health Service in this regard, especially at the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital?
Yes, so what is being done, what is reported in Korle Bu is indeed the truth of the story is that Korle Bu is a center that receives most of our pediatric cancer cases. And so what the reports in the media that we have all been educated is that the numbers are increasing. If you refer to even Ridge Hospital, which is part of Ghana Health Service facility, we used to have only 4 beds for pediatric oncology cases with 1 specialist there. But as of yesterday, when we had a discussion on childhood cancers, it is reported that even the 4 beds are also not adequate now for childhood cancers. The numbers that they admit now have also increased. So indeed, space is an issue across the treatment centers. As a service, we are urging getting all our regional hospitals also fully resourced with human resources so that the numbers that we push to teaching hospitals like Kolebu and Konfanoche can be, at least we can initiate care at the regional hospital level. In so doing, we are not going to push so many cases to Kolebu and Konfanoche at a go. At least we will start the basic treatment care by chemotherapy or what can be done at that level. And before, when they get to the referral point, by then we'd have had enough arrangement with Kolebu and Konfanoche. So we believe that government can expand these centers for treatment just beyond the 2 prime teaching hospitals now, 2 regional hospitals level. And we as a service, we are encouraging most of our young people to also go into training so that they can go and man the hospitals when these state of art centers are open to at least disperse the congestion at the 2 prime teaching hospitals.
Thank you so much. The point has been made. We'll leave it here.
Well, let's take you back to our earlier story. The Minister for Jobs and Employment, Labour as well, Dr. Rashid Pelpo Hassan, joins us live here on the Pulse on Joy News Prime. As we just look at some of the key concerns TEWU-TUC has been raising about their conditions of service. Today, they escalated their industrial action. We know that the NLC told them to return to work and that their strike is illegal. But then let me bring in Doc to just give us updates. You've been engaged in leadership of TEWU-TUC. And what's the update?
Thank you very much. I had a meeting with them last week, and the discussion was for them to give up their strike and return to work. And that government was very committed to supporting them to getting their demands met. And I gave them that assurance. I had met the Minister of Finance. I had a long discussion about them. So I gave them that assurance that there was no need to go on strike. Strike is not just against government, it's against the people of Ghana. So my whole commitment was to get them to understand the total effect of the strike and also to appreciate the fact that government is responding to their needs and adequately too. And as at the time I spoke with them, I had given them assurance that we had just finished doing everything we needed to do, and the finance minister was going to sign it. But I also got them to understand that, you know, it's not just about you making a demand and the following day the demand is met. It's about a process.
They're worried the process is taking too long, really. When exactly will the finance minister pen his signature to that document they are crying for?
You know, the finance minister, on receipt of that document, will have to comprehensively look at the total effect on the budgets. And he will look at the consequence of it. He will look at the future, you know, consideration of the demand, so that it doesn't just take one day for you to be satisfied and the next day you are crying for, you know, lack of payment and et cetera, et cetera. So he's going to take it all comprehensively. And I believe that this can be done, except that we don't want to be seen encouraging people to go and strike before we beat their knees. We want a situation where you give out their strike, your strike, come sit down with us, let's have a conversation. And it may take time because of the nature of financial arrangements when you make a demand on them. As for accepting what they are asking for, it's not a problem we have. It's a simple consequence of putting it on paper and getting it to work. And again, this is not the only time we are getting people asking for the demand and threatening to strike. If we want to give the impression that it is only when people strike that we respond to them, this nation will run down, you know, chaotic. We don't want that. We want peaceful collaboration. We want discussions. We don't want... I met them, I gave them that assurance.
Okay, sir.
And
thank you so much for your time here on Joy News Prime. Dr. Rashid Pelpo, he is the Labour Minister, just assuring TEWU-TUC that their concerns will be heard. You're still watching Joy News Prime. We're back with Showbiz. Carlos?
Yeah, okay. We'll return soon.
That's right. It's time for Showbiz, and Becky Bex is in the studio, looking ravishing as usual.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's a pleasure having me here on your show.
Thank you.
That's what people say when you're about to interview them. But this evening, let's talk about Lady Denta Amoaten. She was recently named by the Foreign Minister, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, as the recipient of a diplomatic passport. She said the industry needs more investor support to see it grow. According to her, the industry has all the talent but lacks investor support.
I think it's we have the talent, we have everything. What I wouldn't say change, but it just needs investment. It needs real investment because honestly, I know we always compare ourselves to the Nigerians, but they have support. You know, they have support. Even when we're doing events, Charlie, there's only 1 or 2, 3 sponsors. You know, and it's like we need there to be a diversity of people that will invest in the entertainment industry, in artists, branding, how to brand ourselves, the clothes that we wear. You know, everything, and it's all about money. And so if you don't have the investment in this industry, we're going to be where we are.
What is delaying or pushing away the investment? That the industry is not doing right, that is not attracting investment.
I just think that we just don't have the people that want to invest in it. That's the issue. Yeah, I think we don't have it. And so I think we need to have more individuals, more companies that want to invest in this industry because there is the ROI, there is going to be a return on investment. And so I don't know, I think we need to do something about it.
Lady Denta Amoaten there. Firstly, let's talk about Sarkodie because ahead of his homecoming show inside Kumasi, he was in our studios, Love FM, earlier this afternoon, and he's been talking about a lot of things, you know, ahead of the Rapperholic, and he's been talking about the Mary album, which he had years ago, saying that the Mary album is one of his greatest album, Sarkodie.
I think it's only right. It's not one of the. It is the greatest project that I've done because of the work that went into it. Every instrument on there was played live. We brought some of the best musicians under one roof to make that project. So it's only right. Any other, I've done amazing albums. My recent album, the last one, Jams, I love it. But Black Love is also very good.
I'm telling you.
But Mary is just what made the album. Bringing the instruments in there, people playing the drums live, the guitars, the trumpets, everything. And big shouts to Akwabua, he did amazing on that project for me. Yeah.
Would it be the influence of your grandma?
Yes. Yes, because she always wanted,
she wants something on the low.
And the piano, number one, you know, she wouldn't like it. And she wanted me to do it while she was alive.
Okay.
Of course, she loves the fact that you are doing amazing, but not necessarily into the music. Because
Obidinists. 27th of this month, we're all going to Kumasi, and we're all going to celebrate the homecoming of Rapperholic inside Kumasi. Before we go, Fosti, hundreds of Ghanaian movie lovers throng the Silver Bear cinemas at the Accra Mall and Westhill Mall on Friday, September 2025, for the premiere of The Fisherman, a film written and directed by Zoe Martinson. The audience also included renowned creatives, media personalities, and other public figures. The Fisherman tells a story of Ataoko, an old Ghanaian fisherman who collaborated with a talking fish and 3 young people on a journey to the city to secure a loan that will enable them to buy their own boat. So this is a story for those. The fisherman is still in the theaters, and so if you want to see the fish talk, speaking English, Fosti, over to you.
Thank you so much, Becky, for bringing us Showbiz.
Anytime.
Tell them where they can find more news.
My Joy Online, every time. Please log on to myjoyonline.com. That's where you find all the news. You can also log on /art and entertainment. That's where you find all the entertainment news. We love you here. We're grateful for your time.
Thank you. Bye.